One of the most prominent figures in Christianity in Nigeria in the last 6 decades is Francis Folorunso Clement Alonge, a Catholic priest who rose to the office of Bishop of Ondo Diocese before he officially retired. He was born in Ado-Ekiti on March 1, 1935, ordained a priest in 1963, appointed Bishop of Ondo Diocese in 1974, and retired from active priestly work in 2010. On Saturday, March 1, 2025, the gentle but firm cleric turned 90, and to mark this milestone, the entire Catholic community rolled out the drums to say a big congratulations to a man fondly described as an exemplary shepherd.
I don't think there's anybody who has ever met him that will not know that they are in the presence of greatness and grace.
Welcome to People and Events. I am Tayilu Oladusi. This week, we wish to have you join us to the birthday, Thanksgiving and reception held to honor Most Reverend Alonge. The glory of God was evident and the people made merry.
Emeritus Bishop Francis Folorunso Clement Alonge was the first indigenous bishop of Ondo Catholic Diocese, having reached that height through hard work and diligent service in God's vineyard.
It's a great thing to serve the Lord. If those who wish to give up everything, marriage and positions and all those things, you can give it out. If that's your vocation and what you want, you train for it, and then you do it. And once you have made a promise, that's my own thing is every promise you make at every stage of our seminary training, I keep them.
He took over leadership of Ondo Diocese when it had just 11 parishes, and by the time he closed his stewardship in 2010, there were more than 50 parishes.
He was a very hard-working bishop. Although he took over from a European as bishop, but all that he did surpassed that of the European.
Also, there were only a few indigenous priests among the missionaries when Bishop Alonge began to lead the Ondo Diocese, but by the time he left, there were over 80 Nigerian priests. The revered cleric is reputed to be very particular about the education, health, and general well-being of his priests, and members of his diocese say since joining the priesthood, Francis Alonge has personified humble and dignified service and protected fiercely his flock with God-driven love, dedication, and prayers.
I worked with him as a seminarian. He groomed me. One of the things that touched me as a seminarian when I had accidents, he personally visited me in the hospital, and I remember then giving me a gift of cake. It was at the time I was deciding to actually leave the seminary. This was the time I had this experience, and his love during that period changed the story for me.
Bishop Alonge is a very humble man. He's very gentle. He's very kind. He's a builder.
Through my interactions with him for over 4 or 5 decades now, he's been without any blemish, and I know that's the reason why I wish God has taken him this far, and we are praying that God will grant him more years of useful service to mankind.
At 90 years of age, Bishop Alonge's voice and vision are still very clear, and he is very much mentally alert.
One thing that is unique about him is, if you ask him any question how he started his useful days, he will give you accurate dates. He will give you the data up to this very moment, because there have been so many times we have interviewed him. There are so many times we bring him on programs, and yet Baba remain how he was till today.
It will surprise you that he wakes up as early as 3 a.m. for his Divine Mercy prayer, and he continues his adoration till 5 o'clock. That is when all of us will be waking up in the house. So sometimes 5:30 to 6, we now go and join him for Mass by 6. And after Mass, he will still be there praying, and his normal daily activities is he still goes to school. Currently having he has gotten a degree online, and he's on now with another church history online courses. His brain is intact. You expect someone of that age to be having dementia, but that is not of Alonge. He keeps remembering. He has a lot to teach.
Retirement is good. Time of retirement, you can just relax. Then you don't just sit down doing nothing. You have something, a fixed thing to do, because you're always a priest and a bishop. So I decided to start an e-library, and it is doing very well now. So it's okay. When you are retired, then you have time to think, to sit down and learn. I'm reading all the time.
On the day the Catholic community set aside to celebrate Dr. Francis Alonge, the soldiers of the church arrived very early for intense rehearsals, an indication that the church was preparing for serious business.
It does not underrate anybody, and it puts you in your right position. And he's very friendly, and he has a crowd behind him. And above all, Bishop Alonge is a very prayerful person, and is very committed to his vocation.
The church in Ondo Diocese was joined by leaders of the church and other well-wishers from across the country to celebrate a man who is still a rallying force despite being retired from active pastoral work.
I got to meet Baba when I came here in 1983 as the provost of St. David's Cathedral, Ijomu, Akure. Baba Alonge, hearing that I came there and that I'm from where I said I came from, which is very close. We see each other as one. He just put me in his hands. Since then, he's been treating me as a son.
His mentorship had led the women into doing so many things. Like we had the Women Development Commission of the JDPI. He was the mentor, he was the founder of the commission, where all women, especially widows, benefited from the miserial, which was his baby. And all women, we are so happy celebrating him today. Women being what we are, we always run back to him. Even at his age, he will still give you that divine wisdom that we're supposed to live with, develop the church, the growth and development of the church is his concern.
Myself and Baba Alonge, when he himself was chairman of CAN, I was also the PRO. And because of his doggedness and also faithfulness and truthfulness, we have been coming together. He wanted me to be a Catholic priest, but that time it was after midday, because already I'm married, and also I've been serving as an Anglican clergyman, as a canon, and also IGK later. So Baba, because of his forthrightness and love for me, because I could remember even when I want to travel to America to study media ethics, Baba contributed to it.
If you look at some of the pictures of his ordination as a bishop, I was that little 2-year-old child 50 years ago, holding on to the hem of his garment. He is honestly, if I can say so, a saint. His whole life has been one of service to others, unstinting to everyone he meets. And he does it so naturally and graciously from a heart of love. I don't think there's anybody who has ever met him that will not know that they are in the presence of greatness and grace.
A careful planner, Francis Alonge was clear from the beginning of his stewardship as bishop that for any human grouping to grow, succession is key.
Because of the nature of Baba, carrying all the children along, Baba has been able to build a vibrant child that succeeded him as the bishop of Ondo Diocese.
He has been a complete gentleman, a man who gave himself generously to everybody, served everybody. That is the kind of person we celebrate today. And we are very happy to celebrate him because we all benefited from his kindness and generosity.
As he walked the aisle of Sacred Heart Cathedral, Akure, for the celebration of his 90th birthday, many looked at him with a lot of admiration. Memories of his great works in the diocese obviously running through their minds. When the congregation had settled down, presiding clerics at the celebration, led by the Catholic Archbishop of Ibadan Archdiocese, the Most Reverend Gabriel Leke Abegunrin, Bishop Emeritus of Ekiti Diocese, Most Reverend Patrick Olatunji Fagun, the Catholic Bishop of Ondo Diocese, the Most Reverend Jude Ayodeji Arogunade, as well as bishops of the dioceses of Osun and Ekiti, among others, arrived to commence celebration of the Mass for Most Reverend Alonge's 90th birthday. In his welcome remarks, the celebrant could not but be his very jovial self.
What is my ministry? What do I want to give so long for something? Well, I said my name is Alonge. I said long. But in the fellowship
listen to me. Pay attention. Devoted people. The Lord called me before I was born from my mother's womb. and hid me in his shadow of his hand. He made me into a shepherd's child and conceived me in his liver. He says to me, "You are my servant, Israel, in whom I shall be glorified."
In a homily, the Emeritus Bishop of Ekiti Catholic Diocese, the Most Reverend Patrick Olatunji Fagun, stressed that the two most important celebrations in the life of any human being are the days of birth and death.
Life is a gift from God, and the gift of God, we treasure it. Now, such, we celebrate our birthdays. And what is most important is why we celebrate birthday. It's a gift. A gift that the talents given to the disciples of Christ to go and make profit out of it. And this profit is not what you acquire in the world, no. It's what you become. Not how rich you are, but how relevant you are to your environment. The word, one word, in your life, how useful are you?
Bishop Fagun said the takeaway from the celebrant's life is that he is reaping the reward of living well, adding that his life was shaped by the quality of upbringing he got.
Bishop Adonge's mother was always going to church every morning with his child. After some time, you know what? Francis Adonge was already getting out to same house at home. He was already tending towards God because his mother took him away. How many of us are in that line today as we improve? On the life of our children being brought to church, his father used to go to his working place, always singing church hymns. Just have a look at him. His figure conjures the aura of sanctity. I would like us not just to celebrate Bishop Adonge for attaining 90 years of meritorious life, but as an example, a model how this generation and coming generations too can watch the success of this man who followed Christ and how to behave, I think, in life.
The preacher therefore urged parents to be intentional about the upbringing of their children.
He did that in poets already. The family is the foundation of the society. A child is born tabula rasa, a clean state, innocent from his youth. It is the environment that shapes human beings, the family being the first instance. For which he ever like parents and children.
came the thanksgiving to appreciate God for his mercies over Bishop Alonge's life.
Just look at our bishops, Bishop Alonge, Bishop Fatma, you will know that our church is just beautiful. Just beautiful. They grew up as young people, some of the first priests of this part of our country. They lived their life, they worked hard, and they have left not just mere legacy, they have left something so key behind for us. And that thing is honor. They have left us honor, and they want us to work hard every day to keep that honor. And I promise you, whatever it takes, we will continue to keep the great honor that you are leaving behind for us, that you have put in place for us.
Very gentle, a man of honor, a man of not many words, but serious. The people say he talks when he wants to talk, when he can get the topic he wants to talk about. And among us bishops, he's well loved, and even among priests, because he doesn't like to hurt anybody. He won't hurt anybody. And he's very generous too, very generous. He can give anything to anybody when he has.
After the celebration of Mass, all roads led to the cathedral's event center for the reception where different groups performed and the birthday cake was cut.
I thank God for Baba's life, and I want to thank all of us for coming. Baba has been one thing or the other to all of us.
We pray that God will continue to grant him excellent health and well-being to keep serving the Church of God and humanity. That's our package this week for beautiful and comprehensive coverage of your events. Please call the number on your screen. This is the Ramadan season, and we wish our Muslim brothers and sisters a successful period of piety. I am Tayelulu Oladusi, and from all of us at Roll Call, please enjoy the rest of your day.